идет разминочный момент, то есть спортсмены делают жанры разминки, проходят от бежать на время. Ready, attention. Ready, attention. Замыкание. Сюда далеко. Массировать колено. Ready, attention. Друзья, если вы болельщиков все больше, повторяю, здесь я кто подошел, только что идет разминочный момент. То есть это тренировка. На трассе приглашается властная Алина.
So we're in Kirov, waiting for the speed semis and finals to kick off. At the moment, athletes have got a little bit of free time to do a practice run. This is not competition. This is just a bit of practice, warming up. There's been about a 15-minute delay to the start of the speed semis. But we've got a nice view of the wall there. Going to be some stellar action to come. Still time to go and grab yourself a coffee or a beer, depending on where you are in the world, what time it is. It's just gone 3 o'clock in the afternoon here in Kirov. Absolute perfect weather conditions. -9, which is what you want really for an ice climb. So stay with us.
Итак, сейчас повторюсь, идет тренировка. После чего 11 женщин и 12 мужчин будут бороться за финальные результаты в дисциплине скорости. Повторяем механизацию сбережения. Ready, attention.
So just a reminder that you're watching a practice round of athletes. The main action does not begin for another 10 minutes or so. We've had word from the organisers that things will proceed at about 20 past, which is just over 5 minutes' time. And in the meantime, every athlete gets a chance to do a practice run. A valuable opportunity to get a feel for the ice and conditions. And warm up, of course.
Приглашается Мальщиков Вадим, приготовится Орлов Вячеслав, Шубин Павел, Кайдаш Владимир. 13 стран, 13 представителей из 13 стран представителей спортсменов. Идет разминка и финалы дисциплины скорости. Ready? Давайте Давайте покричим маленько, хоть так порепетируем тоже, да? Вот, видите, какая серьезная сила? Вот. Приглашается оглохший вещество, готовится студентами и Владимир. Ready? Attention. Ready? Attention.
So we've just had an update that the semis will kick off at 3:30. So that's just over 10 minutes time, 12 minutes time. The semis will kick off. Last of the athletes now are completing their practice rounds. Just free practice, not part of the competition. And then there will be a 10-minute break approximate. And then the semis will kick off at the delayed time of 3:30.
Аплодировать уже можно вовсю. Тренировка на свете проходит в том же режиме, в каком это идут соревнования. То есть каждый спортсмен проходит обе трассы. Ready? Attention.
Высокоскоростным домашним интернетом. Общение внутри семьи не ограничивалось. И у каждой семьи было личное пространство.
Ну что, вот у нас тренировочный этап закончен. Все спортсмены попробовали лед, кировский лед, звонкий кировский лед, на его сметость, и его узкость, и его узкость. Сейчас у нас начнутся финальные забеги на скорость.
So if you've just tuned in, there will now be a 10-minute gap before the main action begins. All athletes have completed their practice rounds. Great view of the ski jump there, the old original ski jump under which this climbing structure sits. Absolute fantastic location, Kirov. Good view there also of the whole ski jump and the cross-country skiing tracks. Quite a lot of snow at the moment.
Маленький подготовительный технический момент. Давайте мы побеседуем. Да? Да? У меня артикуляция может быть плохая. Но сейчас совсем непонятно, что я говорю, да? Хорошо, я буду говорить громче, просто есть комментатор, который вызывает на старт спортсменов, и мы не должны перекрывать друг друга, поэтому иногда я не слишком сильно. Так, хорошо. Ну, юный друг, как тебя зовут? Вот у нас здесь юный Саша. Ты первый раз на таких соревнованиях? Более 20 раз, вот посмотрите, у нас здесь юный житель семейки, который уже 20 раз был на соревнованиях, которые проходят здесь на спорткомплексе «Трамплин». А сколько тебе лет-то тогда? 8. И 20 раз ты был. Обалденно. Так, замечательно. Откуда ты приехал? Ты дала клиент? Так, а есть здесь еще люди, которые вот, раз 20 уже были на соревнованиях подобных? Ну, поднимите руку, может быть, есть кто больше раз был. Напомню, что первое мировое первенство в 2000 году в Кирове состоялось. Правда, площадка была другая. Так, замечательно. Так, ну кто еще может сказать что-нибудь хорошего про то, насколько он интересуется этим видом спорта? Вчера я приводила данные, сколько детей сейчас у нас занимается ледолазанием. Кировская школа ледолазания, одна из самых сильных в мире, самая сильная в мире. Полтысячи детей занимаются. Конечно. Так, ну, внимательно мы следим за тем, что я говорю. Сколько стран представлено на чемпионате мира в этом году? Сколько? Вы хотите ответить? Руку тянете. Сколько стран приехало к нам в этом году? Сколько? Сколько стран приехало? 13, абсолютно правильно. Вот внимательный молодой человек. Так, замечательно. Еще буквально пара минуток. Идет на площадке. Так, вот из тех спортсменов, которые приехали к нам, иностранных, какие факты вы можете назвать? Кто запомнился? Чехия, абсолютно верно. Так, кто еще приехал? Нет, США в этом году не попался. Иран, Россия, так, и Казахстан, замечательно. Не было. Еще был один спортсмен из одной страны. Швейцария была, так, и еще. Томас его звали, Томас. Нет, Украина, да, абсолютно верно. Израиль. Швеция. И Израиль. А еще, вот точно мне подсказали, еще две страны, еще представители двух стран. Вышлите спортлагерь, чтоб легче вам было отвечать, не так? Венгрия и Сербия. Напомню для всех, что идет онлайн-трансляция соревнований. Это YouTube ТВ 43 регион. Через 4 минуты стартуем, начинаем старты, начинаем с девочек. Первые 3 участницы, пожалуйста, будьте готовы. Это Куликова Наталья, Глотова Дарья, Банина Ксения.
So welcome back. The speed semis and finals are about to kick off. And it promises to be a fast and furious showdown. 23 athletes will race against the clock in the semis, but then a chance to duel it out in the knockout finals. My name is Tarquin Cooper, and I'm going to be commentating throughout all the excitement. So we've got a couple of minutes before the action kicks off, a good opportunity to look at those starting lists. In the women, we have from Israel, Natalia Kulikov, and then Russians, Daria Glotsova, Ksenia Banina, Maria Tolokonina, Valeria Bogdan, Czech athlete Aneta Luzheka, Katerina Anishchenko, and Natalia Savitskaya. And from Kazakhstan, Polina Obakrova, Irina Dubotseva, and Elena Vlasova, In the men, is Ilya Kruchkin, Anton Nemov, Danila Bikulov, Artem Shevrev, Maxim Vlasov, Mohamed Savdarian, Vladislav Yurlov, Vadim Malchchukov, Nikolai Kuzovlev, Vyacheslav Orlov, Pavel Shubin, and Volodymyr Kaidash. They bring up the male athletes about to take part in the speed semis. So first up is the 51-year-old Natalia Kulikov. Now, what's important here is the combined time of both your ascents. So it's really a race against the clock. Only thing that counts is your speed. No points, of course, for style, anything like that. And it's amazing to think this woman won the speed 20 years ago, almost exactly. She took the speed gold here in the year 2002, when many of her competitors weren't even born. That's ascent number 1 for Natalia Kulikov in 19.32 seconds. Originally from Russia, now representing Israel. Amazing to still be competing at the age of 51. And here is Daria Glotova, fresh from her win in the lead finals. Do check those out if you haven't already. Poised and ready. Glotova looks like she is ready for action. Both athletes fairly neck and neck, but Glotova has the advantage and will top first, provided there are no mistakes or slips. And she does. (14.64 and 15.9 respectively. So only the fastest 8 athletes can go through to the final. So that means there are 3 athletes who won't go through, which does improve your chances. Normally, of course, there would be 16 climbers in the semi-finals, but with everything due to COVID, the restrictions, the fact that there aren't so many international athletes here, slightly different this time around. So here we've got Ksenia Banina and Daria Glotova.
Attention. Итак, на левой трассе у нас Банина Ксения.
And Glotova there. Looks like she had the advantage, but Ksenia now has the edge. But it's all about the clock. It is the timer that decides everything. And what's important is the accumulated time. So we're starting to see accumulated times on the left-hand side there. Totally different equipment and technique required for this discipline. In fact, you can't really call what they have in their hands an ice axe. It's not an ice axe as we know it. It's actually much more like a fifi hook, a hook really. Just an extension of the hand, much, much shorter than a conventional ice axe, and it's not serrated either. That means that it's easier to extract, but that can have its disadvantages too. So we've got Tolokonina on the left, a speed champion 6 times over. But they're fairly neck and neck, these two. But never in doubt, Tolokonina had that one. 13.03. Not the fastest time. We can probably expect there to be a few sub 10-second ascents today, maybe even sub 9. So Maria Tolokonina will move to the right-hand side. And the young challenger, Valeria Bogdan, steps up to the plate on the left.
Ready? Attention.
These two are both speed champions. Tolokonina has it today. 10 seconds, 11. So Tolokonina walks away with a combined time of 24.95 seconds. 11.92. And Bogdan, a little bit slow on that ascent. For someone who came second overall on the World Tour last year. Bogdan, if you recall, came third in Champagny. Now this is Aneta Lujeka on the left, who came fourth in Champagny. The first non-Russian. There should almost be a category for the first non-Russian. Russians do dominate the sport. So, at the ready.
Поболели за девчонок. По левой трассе идет представительница Чехии Лужецка Анета.
And they're both neck and neck. Fine performance here from Aneta Luzheka, but Valeria Bogdan has the edge on that ascent. Got some groovy boogie woogie piano tunes going on in the background.
Онищенко Екатерина, please come to the start. Next, Savitskaya Natalia.
So, Aneta Luzheka
Kirova Polina, Dubovtseva Irina.
moves over to the right. And Ekaterina Anishchenko comes on.
Ready? Attention.
So poised from the Czech climber.
Переместилась на правую трассу, а по левой
But it's
трассе
Anishchenko who clearly
Онищенко
has the
Екатерина.
speed on this one.
Валерий,
Flawless
Валерий,
ascent there
я вообще не слышу.
from Anishchenko. Very fast, definitely one to watch for the finals. 18.83 for Luzheka, 12.78 for Anishchenko. Will that be enough to see Luzheka through to the final round? We only lose 3 athletes. You've just got to be in the first 8, or rather put another way, just need to be not in the bottom 3.
Албакирова Полина, please be ready.
So Anishchenko on the right, and Natalia Savitskaya on the left. Savitskaya. Well, what do you expect from someone as fast as her with her medal tally? Possibly the fastest, or one of the fastest ascents we've seen today. 11.92. She was second overall in 2019. Just look at the spring. She's like a dynamo. So each athlete has 2 B layers. So Polina Bakarova now steps up to the left, and Natalia Savitskaya begins her second ascent. Now remember, it's the combined time that counts. Doesn't actually matter how you do against your competitor on the other side of the wall. So Savitskaya looking to do another fast ascent. Will she get it under 12 seconds? Not quite. Just ice axe rips there. She moves into second place overall with a combined time of 26.02 seconds, just behind Tolokonina of Bakarova, 19.12 seconds for her first round. She'll need to speed up a little bit if she wants to get out of the danger zone. So next up is Irina Dubotseva on the left. Definitely one to watch. She won Tumen, the youth speed finals last weekend, under 21s. So Bakarova on the right, Dubotseva on the left.
One moment. Ready? Attention.
And they're off. Dubotseva, very fast. really demonstrating the absolute perfect technique there. Ice axe is off to the side. She's almost using the arete of the ice wall there, pulling off just to the side there, much more than over her head. And she's back getting her breath back while Obakarova finishes her second run. So just one more athlete to come, and that is Elena Vlasova, 31 years old. So Vlasova on the left, Dubotseva on the right. Will be interesting to see how these two climbers compare in speed. Both no strangers to podium places on the Speed World Cup. And so far, it's fairly neck and neck between Dubotseva and Vlasova. Vlasova on the left, who has it? Well, Dubotseva moves up into first place. Vlasova just behind. Just ahead, I think, actually. 11.420 for Elena Vlasova, who was a third overall last year. So she's the final athlete to complete the semis.
Ready? Attention.
And she's off. Her place in the finals is secure if she can just get to the top in a reasonable time. .49 seconds, which puts her into second place. Very secure indeed. And it looks like Daria Glotova has got a DNF, did not finish, which means maybe she didn't hit the timing mat.
In 5 minutes, we will start with the men's semi-final. First athletes, Kurichkin Ilyan, Yemov Anton, Bikulov, Danilov. Please be ready in 5 minutes.
So there's a 5-minute break now before the men's semis. And first up will be, I think we heard Danila Bikulov. So let's have a look at the results there. So the three who don't make it through to the finals are sadly Aneta Luzheka, Polina Obakarova and Daria Glotova. But the 8 who do go through from the bottom, Natalia Kulikov from Israel, and then all Russians from here on in, Valeria Bogdan, Ekaterina Anishchenko, Ksenia Banina, Natalia Savitskaya, Maria Tolokonina, Elena Vlasova, and Irina Dubotseva. They all go through to the finals, which will roll on straight after the semis. We've got a couple of minutes now before the men's semis begin. Well, we've got perfect conditions for the semis and finals today. It's nice and cold, -9 degrees. Not too cold, but cold enough. Many times last year there were problems with ice melt when it got a little bit mild. So we've got the cold temperatures and blue sky, sun's out. What more could you want? So let's have a look at the men's starting list now for the men's semis. So again, mostly all Russian lineup. No surprises there. Ilya Kuruchkin, Anton Yemov, Danila Bikulov, and then Artem Shevrev, Maxim Vlasov, Mohammad Reza Safdarian, Mohammad Reza Safdarian, Vladislav Yolov, Vadim Malchukov, and then Nikolai Kozovlev, Vyacheslav Orlov, Pavel Shubin, and Volodymyr Kaidash. So, for the guys, they just need to make sure they're not in the bottom 4. 8 go through to the finals. And the finals is a knockout round. So that's where you go head-to-head. But your combined time still counts. It determines your ranking when you get down to the quarterfinals, to the last 4.
Страховщики на первой трассе, подойдите, пожалуйста, на страховку.
So, spoiler alert, but I don't think I'm revealing too much by saying that the Russians will win this. The Russians pretty much always win speed events. It is very much their sport. And when you look at the history, going back 15 years, of the 30 World Cup speed champions that there have been, there's only been one non-Russian. And that was over 10 years ago now. And the reason the Russians dominate, well, ultimately it all comes down to training. They train for it year round. In fact, at this venue, round the back of the lead wall, there's a training. There's a speed board, very much like a campus board. The rungs are just a bit thicker and a bit more durable because obviously they're taking ice axes rather than fingertips. And that way Russians will train all year round. It was quite noticeable, certainly last year on the World Tour, that many athletes are turning up to compete at the speed duel event, and it's the sort of first time that they've had a go at on a competition ice wall, at least that season. So it's not something that the Russians eat for breakfast. It really comes down to the facilities and the training. And we're starting to see the rest of the world catch up in speed. Definitely some promising talent coming through the ranks. Right, this looks like Ilya Kuruchkin. So he's had a good rest from this morning's lead finals, where he topped the route and came second. So he already goes home today with 1 medal. Can he make it 2?
Ready?
Poised and ready to launch. And off he goes. Very, very fast start from this accomplished 20-year-old. Flawless descent. No mistakes at all. Very fast time. That'll be a sub 10, almost certainly. 8.17 seconds. Very fast indeed from Ilya Kuruchkin. He is setting the bar high. Anton Nemov next. He won every tour stop last year, but interesting, lost out in Chamonix. So the two assume the position. 1 foot on the ground, 1 tool in the ice. And Nemov has it. But mistake, did he come off there? He managed to stay on the ice, recover. Nemov that will be enough to see Nemov through, but he will be hoping not to have a mistake like that again in the actual finals. Kuruchkin, meanwhile, walks away with a combined time of 17.2 seconds. 8.9 seconds for Nemov. Even with a mistake, he gets sub 9 seconds. Now, Danila Bikulov, who came first in Chamonix in January, knocking the 36-year-old Nemov off his throne. So Nemov needs to be very afraid of this young challenger. Interesting to see the two paired together. Let's see who has it. It's absolutely neck and neck. Nemov, Bikolov, one mistake, gets stuck. Nemov walks away with a clean ascent there. 8.9 seconds again. And Nemov moves into the number one spot. But 8.7 seconds from Bikolov. He is by no means slow.
Next test, let's Vlasov Maxim, please be ready. Then
It's shaping up to be a thrilling showdown in the finals. We're likely to see Nemov and Bikolov again, quite possibly. So Bikolov now on the right and Shevrev on the left. 16-year-old versus 18-year-old. This could be very fast from both athletes. Shevrev seemed to have it, but then got a little sticking point. 9.67, just half a second slower than Bikolov. Still, Shevrev scores a sub 10-second ascent.
Vlasov Maxim, please come to the start.
So next up is Maxim Vlasov. The legend returns. 41 years old. World Cup speed champion himself 15 years ago.
Attention.
Has he still got it? Absolutely, he's still got it. Look at him, he's flying up this route like he's been reeled in on a winch. Oh, he's happy there. That was a very delighted punch of the timing mat. 7.89 seconds. Very fast indeed.
Savdarian Mohamed Reza, please come to the start. Next, Yurlov Vladislav.
So Vlasov moves over to the right. And now it's Mohammad Reza Safdarian from Iran.
Ready? Attention.
Both athletes make a fast start. Safdarian taking advantage of that side wall to pull himself in. Both athletes pulling in from the side, which you are allowed to do. Interesting. Both climbers choosing to almost use the arête there, the corner of the route. Very different technique, this, to conventional ice climbing. Conventional ice climbing, as a rule, you swing the tool behind you and go straight in above your head. This game, it's almost more pulling in from the side, like you're an insect. So Vladislav Yurlov on the left, Mohammad Reza Safdarian on the right. Both athletes very fast. Yurlov much quicker today than Safdarian. .93, not the fastest ascent today, but still enough to be in the top rank. But is it enough for Safdarian to get through? He has a combined time now of 20.97 seconds.
Malchikov, please come to the start. Next,
No guarantee that that will see him through. Vadim Malchikov now steps up on the left. Vladislav Yurlov on the right.
Attention.
He's an under 21 speed champion. Very fast. Got stuck, lost a foot there. Yurlov goes for it. He's going to be the quicker. But it's all down to the time. Yurlov 8.69 and 9.46 for Malchikov. So Artem Shevrev
Please come to the start.
looking in a dangerous position.
Arlov Vyacheslav, please be ready. Then
So Nikolai Kuzovlov now steps up. Now he is a three-time world speed champion. Up against Vadim Malchikov on the right. At the age of 38, does Kozlovlev still have it? That is the question.
Attention.
Kozlovlev. It looks like he still has, but very costly error there. Unfortunately, lost a bit of time. What time is that going to give him? 9.03 versus Maltshikov's 8.43.
Orlov, Vyacheslav, please come to the start.
Kozlovlev
Shubin, Pavel, then
steps
Kaiser,
right.
Vladimir.
And up comes Vyacheslav Orlov. Kozlovlev will be hoping for
Ready?
an error-free ascent now. Smooth ascent.
Так, у нас на левой трассе Орлов Вячеслав.
Orlov did well to cling on there.
На правой трассе Кузовлев
He's
Николай.
popped a couple of times.
Федерация.
Kozlovlev absolutely determined all the way. Orlov, brave fight back. 9.67 for Kozlovlev. But for Orlov, the time of 12.71
Please come to the start.
won't be enough to see him through to the final unless he can do something radical on his second ascent.
Kaiser, Vladimir, please be ready.
He really needs to pull one out the bag, and even then it's doubtful. Meanwhile, Pavel Shubin steps up, 17 years old.
Ready? Attention.
Shubin and Orlov. Orlov, his pick just ripped straight away, but look at Shubin go, only 17 years old. This could be one of the fastest ascents. Orlov looks like he might be off.
Kaiser, Vladimir, please come to the start.
That was astonishingly quick, 7.81 seconds.
Было личное пространство безлимитного мобильного интернета. Для этого существуют тарифы линейки МНТС. Домашний интернет, онлайн-кинотеатр и связь с безлимитным интернетом для каждого в семье. Подробнее о тарифных предложениях, ограничениях и иных особенностях на vi.mts.ru.
So Shubin on the right, Vladimir Kaidash on the left.
Ready? Attention.
All eyes on Pavel Shubin.
На левой трассе
Kaidash struggling there. Something went wrong. But look at Shubin go. This young 17-year-old just flying
левая
up the speed wall.
трасса Кайдаш Владимир.
Kaidash manages to stay on.
На правой трассе выступал Шубин
But
Павел.
the Ukrainian is unlikely to go through with a time of 14.12 seconds. He gets a second chance. Shubin comes off now. So, Volodymyr Kaidash. This has got to try and save his chances, but more than likely this will be his last attempt.
Итак, по правой
On this
трассе
speed wall,
спортсмен.
there's very little he can do
Кайдаш Владимир.
to get under 18 seconds combined time.
Поболели, давайте, парень так издалека
The
приехал.
fact that Nikolai Kozlovlev is in last place just shows you the talent. But Kaidash putting in a heroic effort. He's from Ukraine, remember. He's not native to this sport. He's not Russian, and that's just definitely a disadvantage. 20 seconds.
Закончилось. Сейчас у нас финалистки предыдущего
20.07 for Kaidash.
стартовой площадке.
Gives him a combined time of 34.19 seconds, but it's not enough, sadly, to get him into the finals. So we shall say farewell to
So we start
the Ukrainian climber.
First pair Dubovtseva Irina Glotova Daria. Second Savitska Natalia Banina Ksenia.
So we're looking at the semis results. Those who don't go through, Vyacheslav Orlov, Artem Shevrev, and Vladimir Kaidash. And as well, we say goodbye to Mohammad Reza Safdarian from Iran. But the 8 who go through to the finals from the bottom, Nikolai Kozlovlev, Vadim Maltschikov, Danila Bikulov, Maxim Vlasov, Ilya Kurychkin, Pavel Shubin, Vladislav Yulov, and Anton Niemov. Interestingly, goes through with the fastest time. He's back and he means business. Niemov will not have enjoyed losing in Champagny to Danila Bikulov. Speed is very much his sport. In the 2020 Speed World Tour, he won every single stop. So we're looking at Irina Dbotsva and Daria Glotova on the right.
Attention.
And it's Glotova. Very fast ascent there. Dbotsva, excuse me. So Dbotsva 10.13 and Glotova 13.41. They now change positions. Dbotsva on the right, Glotova on the left.
Ready?
So this is now knockout stage, but your time still counts. Dbotsva just lost a foot earlier, but she's clearly got this one. Dbotsva all the way, Glotova struggling. But still, great performance there from the 16-year-old. So Dbotsva wins that round. So we're back on the blues, on the piano. Next up will be Valeria Bogdan and Anishchenko.
From left side and Ksenia right side. Ready? Attention.
Так, сейчас девчонки у нас соревнуются.
So Ksenia on the right,
Держим девочек.
Savitskaya on the left.
Давайте, девочки, надо покричать.
Savitskaya
покричать.
has it. So the third, they now swap sides. Savitskaya
Так,
moves to the
делается
right.
смена трасс. Каждая спортсменка проходит каждую трассу.
And Banina moves to the left.
Идет смена. То есть сначала одна спортсменка идет слева, переходит на правую и наоборот.
Savitskaya poised and ready.
Ready?
One of the fastest athletes we've seen today. What's she going to give us today?
А для мужчин-участников результаты
She's just got the spring in her step.
финала висят
Banina can't keep up. Savitskaya's got it. Sub 12 seconds, are we going to see? $11.66 for Savitskaya, 17.25 for Banina. So in heat number 3, we shall see the climber who was the second fastest against the climber who was 7th fastest. So the second to last.
And Bogdan, Valeria, please come to the start.
And that will be
Alona, first row, Valeria, second row.
Valeria Bogdan on the right and Elena Vlasova on the left. Vlasova and Bogdan.
Ready?
Vlasova on the left, Bogdan on the right. The money's on Vlasova. But Bogdan is something of a Russian rocket. But she doesn't seem to have it today. It's Vlasova. Notice many of the athletes now wearing knee protection. Has been some talk about introducing protective clothing, particularly for speed, just because your picks are that much more likely to pop out. So Bogdan now will move over to the left-hand side, and Vlasova will move over to the right. So Vlasova, 11.76 seconds.
Ready? Attention.
Just a couple of seconds faster than Bogdan. But Bogdan seems to have it on this occasion. She's making up for her first attempt. But pick slips neck and neck for these two now. Bogdan hits the timing mat. 13.69. Giving her combined time of 27 seconds. So Tolokonina now on the left and Ekaterina Anischenko on the right. Well, if I was Anischenko, I'd be a little bit nervous right now, facing the woman to the left, Tolokonina, six-time speedball champion. But Anischenko seems to have the advantage. It's absolutely neck and neck. But Tolokonina, oh no, she's fallen. That's it for Tolokonina. If you're full, it's elimination. She curses that. Just can't believe it. Anischenko, 13.19 seconds. Tolokonina gets a fall. She won't be used to that at all. So she's out. She doesn't complete her second route. That means Anischenko just races herself now against the clock.
Ready? Attention.
Off she goes. Still got to put in a fast time, even though she's by herself. So far, so good. No mistakes. And that's one better than Tolokonina. But it's not going to be a fast time at all. 20.05. To give her a combined time of 33.24 seconds, which will be the slowest time going through to the next round. So next it should be Arina Dubotova versus Savitskaya.
1/8 финала у женщин-участниц закончилась. Сейчас у нас сразу практически без перерыва 1/8 финала у мужчин-участников.
In few minutes we start men final. First is Nemov Anton and Kuzovlev Nikolai. Second, Kurchkin Ilya, Vlasov Maxim. third, Yurlov Vladislav Molchikov Vadim. And
It sounds like we're going to move to the men next.
Vikulov Danila.
So the way the finals work, it's a knockout round, and you've got essentially 3 heats. And in the first round, you have the athletes all ranked by their time in the previous qualifications. So you have the first athlete will go up against the 8th placed athlete, the 4th against the 5th, the 2nd against the 7th, and then the 3rd against the 6th placed athlete. So we're looking exactly at those heats now. So heat 1, yes, will be Anton Nemov, who was the first place against 8th, Nikolai Kuzovlev, then Ilya Kuruchkin against Maxim Vlasov, Vladislav Iolov against Vadim Marchukov, Pavel Shubin against Danila Bikulov in that in those next heats. And it's not just about beating the other person. It is a knockout round, but the time also counts. And that affects how you are ranked in the next round.
Nemov, Anton and Kuzovlev Nikolai, please come to the start. Anton first row, Nikolai second row. Страховщики, подойдите, пожалуйста.
So it's going to be Anton Nemov versus Nikolai Kuzovlev.
Первой трассы, вернитесь, пожалуйста.
Amazing location. It's got to be one of the coolest locations, I think, the venues. So Kuzovlev on the right, Nemov on the left. The faster athlete always starts on the left. Now,
Ready?
the money is on Nemov, but Kuzovlev is a former speed champion himself. And they both make fast starts. Kuzovlev makes a mistake, but Nemov is unstoppable. Nemov has it, 7.42 seconds. Kuzovlev is only able to hit the timing mat almost 4 seconds later. Let's see if he can reverse those fortunes. Kuzovlev on the left, Nemov on the right. Remember that speed climbing is the only discipline that Nemov trains for. Kuzovlev has already had the men's lead finals today.
Attention.
And they're off. Nemov has the advantage, but it's very, very close. Another mistake from Kuzovlev, but Nemov is a man who doesn't make mistakes. 15.06 combined time.
Немов Антон из Анжеро-Судженска.
Gets that heat in 7.64, very fast, and 9.18 for Kuzovlev.
Right road.
That's it for these two. They allow themselves a sporting hug afterwards. Now stepping up, we should have Ilya Kuruchkin and Maxim Vlasov.
Ready?
Kuruchkin on the left, Vlasov on the right.
И побежали, побежали, побежали.
Kuruchkin, both of them very, very fast, neither making any mistakes. They're just flying up this wall. Kuruchkin just lost a little bit of time there. 8.6 seconds, 8.494. Vlasov. Vlasov has the advantage there by 1/10 of a second.
Напомню, идет 1/8 финальных забегов.
There is no let up between these two. Look, they don't even exchange eye contact. Not sure why Vlasov has just walked away there. If the athletes are suspected of taking time out, it's a penalty.
Ready? Attention.
Poised, coiled, ready to launch.
Так, у спортсменов
They're off.
произошла смена.
Krechkin,
18-й
very
номер
fast
Kirov,
indeed, but Vlasov has it.
Vlasov Maxim.
That was very close indeed. Vlasov thinks he has it. Vlasov, 8.54, 8.57 seconds. 0.03 between them. Very, very close indeed.
Next athletes.
So the next third round should be
Second round.
Vladislav Iolov, who came second fastest time in the qualifiers, against Maltschikov. So Iolov will step up on the left-hand side, Maltschikov on the right. So they assume the starting position, which is one pick in the ice and 1 foot on the ice, 1 foot on the ground. Who's it going to be? Maltschikov makes a mistake early on. Don't know what happens there. Iolov is seizing the advantage. He's going all the way. No mistakes. It's going to be a fast time. What's it going to be? Maltschikov manages to stay on, but only 10.51 and 7.99 for Iolov. Not the fastest. So, disappointing start there for Maltschikov. So they now swap places. Just amazing, the technique, how they climb. It really is like a scuttling insect, like a crab almost, where the arms are closer to the body. You're not reaching high. You're not swinging.
Attention.
It's a vertical sprint. Iolov is the one to lose the advantage there. Maltschikov, it's an astonishing start. Just almost looked like he jumped up the first 10 meters there. Flew up. Maltschikov, 6.96 seconds. That is the fastest run we've seen today. 8.92 seconds for Iolov. Now, what does the combined time give us? Iolov goes through 16.9 and Maltschikov 17.4. So Iolov walks away lucky with that one. But that was an astonishing run from Maltschikov. And the final heat now. So Pavel Shubin and Danila Bikulov. Danila Bikulov, incredibly fast, very young athlete. He won the speed in Champagny. Only 18 years old. So Bikulov on the right and Pavel Shubin, only 17 years old, on the left. Great to see the young stars now coming through the ranks.
Attention.
Expect knowledge. Look at them go. Bikulov flying up the route. Bikulov has it. 7.07 and 7.5 seconds. 0.4 of a second faster. That's the margin between these two. They now swap over. Bikulov steps left and Shubin steps right. Both on 7 seconds. Nothing between them. 0.4 of a second separate them.
Ready? Attention.
This is an epic duel. Both of them going. It looks like Bikulov has the advantage. Oh, Shubin is off. Shubin is off. It's over. Kirov, combined time of 14.64 seconds, which is actually faster than some of the single ascents of some other climbers that we've seen today. Celebratory hug there. So that brings to an end that first round. That leaves 4 climbers will go through.
Next final round, girls. First pair, Dubovtseva, Irina, Anishchenko.
So we're back to the girls now.
Savitskaya, Natalia, Vlasova, Alena. First pair, please come
So,
to the start. Dubovtseva, Irina.
This is the first placed athlete, Dubovtseva, who won her round, and the other climber who won their round, which will be Savitskaya. Anishchenko, excuse me. So Dubovtseva on the left, Anishchenko on the right.
Attention.
Dubovtseva on the left, Anishchenko on the right. Dubovtseva, no match. Dubovtseva has it. Anishchenko 13.07. So Dubovtseva now moves over. And it is Anishchenko, bib number 21. Not Banina as the graphic had earlier. Apologies there. So Dubovtseva has the advantage. She's the one to watch on the right. Look at her, poised, ready to launch herself up. And it's an explosive start from the Russian athlete. She's got the edge, but Anishchenko now has the advantage after a couple of mistakes. It's neck and neck. Dubovtseva did well to cling on, but it could be Anishchenko who takes the top first. 13.03 for Dubovtseva. She recovers in the end to 13.69. 7/10 of a second, just under, separate that second run from these two athletes. So next up, we have Vlasova on the left.
Ready? Attention.
Vlasova on the left. So, excuse me, Vlasova is on the right, and it's Savitskaya on the left. Savitskaya has got it with those big, leaping strides of hers. 11.13 versus 11.62. They now swap over. Savitskaya moves over to the right. Vlasova on the left. Savitskaya.
Ready?
Vlasova.
Attention.
And they're off. It's a very close fought battle, this one. It could go to either of the two. Savitskaya has the advantage. But what will the time give her? Savitskaya. 12:10 versus 13.64. Second and a half separates those two. So Savitskaya, that will see her go through for place for gold.
Men, first pair, Bikulov.
So the men now.
Vlasov, Maxim. Second pair, Nemov, Anton, Yurlov, Vladislav.
So this will be the first placed athlete versus the fourth placed athlete, and then the second and the third place athlete respectively.
Bikulov, Daniil,
So
left row, Vlasov, Maxim.
that's Danila Bikulov, and he will be up against Maxim Vlasov on the right. So the faster climb always begins on the left. So Bikulov, the one to watch.
Attention.
Very fast, young athlete. Just so fast. Look how quickly those legs and arms move together. But has he got it? 7.56 versus 7.86. 0.3 of a second quicker than Vlasov, which is almost nothing. They swap places now. Bikulov steps to the right. Vlasov goes round to the left. '18-year-old Bikulov versus
Ready?
Maxim Vlasov, the veteran. Youth versus the legend. Vlasov, a moment, has the advantage, but no, he gets a pick stuck. Bikulov recovers. It's going to be Bikulov who gets it. .41 versus 8.85. So Bikulov clearly won that round. Vlasov will go through to the place for third and fourth after that battle. But amazing to see Vlasov here in the finals, 41 years old, semi-retired that he is. So the next two will be Anton Yemov and Vladimir Yurlov. Excuse me. So Niemov on the left, Yurlov on the right.
Ready?
So it's a knockout round. It's the faster of these two that counts. Niemov looks unconquerable once again. So fast. 7.15 seconds versus 7.57 seconds. 0.4 of a second faster. And that's all you need. So unless Yurlov wins this, and he needs to recover that lost time, 0.4 of a second. So he basically needs to be half a second faster than Niemov if he's to stand any chance of going through for a place to the first for first and second. Otherwise, he will be fighting for bronze. Niemov on the right, Yurlov on the left. They assume the position. Niemov looks like he's ready for battle. Who's it going to be? Niemov thinks it's him, but Yurlov has the advantage. It's Yurlov. He's going to be half a second faster. Is he going to do it? 7.67, 7.77. It's faster on this round, but it won't be enough It won't be enough to beat Niemov, who goes through 14.92 seconds, accumulated time to 15.24 seconds. So it was a very valiant fight back by Iolov, but sadly it's not enough. Not enough. He will go through now, Vadim Iolov, for a battle for third place. So the final for third and fourth place, whereas Niemov will go through to a place for first place up against Danila Bikulov. So we're looking at the finals now coming up. So this is a battle for first place between Elena Vlasova and Ekaterina Anischenko. And then the battle for third place will be between Natalia Savitskaya and Irina Dubotseva. Excuse me.
Приглашаются Онищенко Екатерина, Власова Алена. Онищенко Екатерина слева, Власова Алена справа.
I may have just read those the wrong way round. Excuse me. It will be Savitskaya. And this is Anischenko on the left. So we've got the small final now. The battle for third place. Anischenko on the left against Elena Vlasova on the right. One of these girls will go home without a medal. Vlasova hoping it's not going to be her. Anischenko equally determined that she gets onto the podium. Anischenko has the advantage. Vlasova is struggling. Anischenko has got it. She's got the faster time. Vlasova 3 seconds slower. So she needs to be more than 3 seconds faster than Anischenko to stand a chance. But it's looking like Vlasova will go home empty-handed. And Anischenko is all set up for a medal. The bronze medal, third place for this 26-year-old. Definitely an improvement on her 9th place in Kirov 3 years ago. So Anischenko on the right, Vlasova on the left.
Ready?
Let's see what Vlasova can do. All eyes on Anischenko though. Vlasova has got the advantage, but she needs to win by more than 3 seconds. Can she do it? Well, it's possible. She's definitely got a good, strong lead. Anischenko needs to dig deep. She really needs to dig deep now to get her. It could be anyone's. The clock will reveal all. Is it enough? Is it enough? Vlasova, 17.47 for Vlasova. And the corrected times are there. And sadly, it is Anischenko who goes home. Vlasova wins by just under a second. A heroic recovery there from Vlasova, who secures the third place. Anischenko, sadly, goes home in 4th place for her. Now, here comes the final, the main battle of the day between the fastest climbers of the wall, Irina Dubotseva and Natalia Savitskaya. Savitskaya on the right, Dubotseva on the left.
Ready?
Who is your money on? Savitskaya and Dubotseva. Dubotseva comes off, does well to hang on. Savitskaya has the advantage. It's looking good for Savitskaya. She's just got to stay on it without any mistakes. Dubotseva does well to cling on. She nearly came off. Silver medal is still guaranteed, however, for whoever comes second out of these two. So Savitskaya is the faster of that first round, 11.39 seconds. And a second slower is Irina Dubotseva, 14.250 seconds. So Dubotseva can still win the gold. She just needs to be more than 3 seconds quicker than Savitskaya. So Savitskaya going in clearly with the advantage. Gold medal is hers for the taking. It's just 12 seconds away to be exact. So Savitskaya on the left.
Attention.
Savitskaya, but it's neck and neck. Savitskaya, big shout from below. It's neck and neck as they go for it. Dubotseva seems to have the advantage, but she needs to win by several seconds, and I don't think she has. Savitskaya, 13.08, wins again. Savitskaya takes the gold. Dubotseva takes the silver. An epic duel from these two women. Great performance from both athletes. Natalia Savitskaya wins the women's speed event here in the World Cup here in Kirov. But we've got the men now lining up for battle for third place. Vlasova, excuse me. Try again, all these Russian names. Maxim Vlasov and Vladimir Iolov. Vlasov on the left, Iolov on the right.
Приглашаются Власов Максим, левая трасса, Юрлов Владислав, правая трасса.
So Maxim.
Написано так.
So Vlasov is on the left, Yurlov on the right. And this is, a reminder, a battle for third place. Time doesn't matter. It's just about who wins. And at the moment, the advantage is Iolov. Iolov scampering up there like a man possessed. 8.20 seconds. Vlasov, 10.83. Clearly, Iolov goes into the second climb with a 2-second advantage. So Vlasov, it's not impossible, but he needs to win by more than 2 seconds if he's to take that third place. So Iolov on the left. Third place is his. If he can maintain his lead. He has to stay on the wall, though. Anything can still go wrong. Vlasov determined to make good. But it's Iolov who has it. Iolov has the advantage. Vlasov tries to make a comeback, but it's not going to happen. Iolov has it. Iolov will take 12.84 seconds versus 9.84 for those two. So it will be Vladimir Iolov who goes through and takes the bronze. Combined time of 17.83 seconds and almost 6 seconds slower. Maxim Vlasov, 41 years old. Not bad for that age. He goes home in 4th place.
Ну что ж, и сейчас у нас предстоит борьба за первое и второе место.
Great to see him competing 15 years after he took World Cup title way back in 2006. But it's the final we're here from. The fastest man on ice. Is it going to be Anton Yemov, the veteran, the 38-year-old athlete who won every tour stop in 2020? Or is it going to be the young pretender, the young challenger, Danila Bikulov, who's only 18 years old and who beat Nemov in France last month? Now, is Nemov going to let that happen again? Or is he going to put the youngster back in his place? Let's see. Nemov on the right. Bikulov on the left.
Ready?
Poised and coiled, ready to launch. And it's neck and neck. It's Bikulov who has the advantage. Bikulov is all the way. It's his. It's Bikulov. Anton Yemov is by a long way second. 6.97 seconds for Anton Yemov. But it's Bikulov. Look at that style. Each kick just launching him up the ice. 6.97 seconds for Bikulov. Yemov. 8 seconds. They swap rounds. So, well, it's just over a second, the deficit that Anton Yemov needs to make up. It looks like experience may be giving way to youth. Anything can still happen, remember. So Bikulov on the right.
Ready? Attention.
It's all about the first climb up. Yemov. Yemov has it, but is it the advantage? Is it enough? It's going to be close. Yemov thinks it's him. 7.11 seconds. It looks like it is versus 8.59. 15.12 to Anton Yemov. And he holds his place. He's back on the throne to take the gold against the youngster, Danila Bikulov. This is shaping up to be a great rivalry between this pair. Anton Yemov, delighted. He takes the crown. Danila Bikulov takes the second place. So, absolutely amazing performance from all the athletes, male and female, here today. Yemov delighted to be back in #1 spot, which is where he feels most comfortable. But another great performance there from Danila Bikulov, who takes the second. So that brings to a close the speed finals and very sadly to this shortened world tour. So thank you for watching. Don't forget, you can check out the results, reports, pictures and more, not just from Kirov, but from Tumen and Champagny on the website, on our social channels at UIA Mountains. We will be back next year and we'll see you then.